มวยไทยคือชีวิต
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Muay Thai is Life. We are here today with very special guests Nathan Kitchen and Julie Kitchen from Touch Gloves Gym all the way from England and from Cornwall. Correct? Is that what you guys are at?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So how are you doing this afternoon or this morning?
We're good, thanks.
Yeah, really good.
Really good.
All right. So, Julie, first things first, we wanted to talk to you. We know you just had a great fight with Aleide Lawant, which I hope I'm not killing the pronunciation of her name. But, she is a talented fighter from Holland. She just won the Infusion finals, which you couldn't contest the finals because you had an injury, kind of an unfortunate accident of an injury. And so tell us, how did that feel to get that 14th title and, in fighting somebody like Aleide and kind of recovering from that unfortunate incident from the Infusion?
Yeah, I mean, the fight was amazing. She was a really strong contestant for me. I'm really chuffed it was my 14th world title. It was good to get away from the 13, but it meant more to me that I kind of proved the point because I took a headbutt in Infusion and I couldn't make it through to the final. It was just really good to face Aleide and show everyone that I would have possibly won her in the Infusion final and I would have won the money.
Yeah, so I mean, that is good. You definitely would have shown everybody that you were you guys were the favorites. I guess Aleide and you were the favorites to go to the finals anyway. And it just, everybody. Yeah, I mean, it just didn't turn out that way. But yeah, it definitely is good for you guys to face up like that. And I guess the question moving on now is, everybody, there's been a lot of people calling you out, especially American Miriam Nakamoto. She's been very vocal, I guess, which she usually is. She is a girl that she's tough, but she is
exactly.
Yeah. But so I mean,
I think the sport needs Miriam.
Definitely.
I said the sport needs Miriam. Really, it needs a trainer,
So let me ask you, they just released an article yesterday on Muay Thai Authority, and you were talking about and a few days earlier as well from Miriam, and then your responses. Let me ask you a question. I mean, why is it, why do you feel that the fight hasn't happened yet? I mean, I know you guys were supposed to fight in the MTiL. You guys just haven't gotten any offers. I mean, what's the next step in that fight potentially happening?
Well, we was meant to face each other a couple of times, and the first time I got cut quite close to our date that we was due to fight, and then the second time she'd done her cruciate ligament, didn't she? So she was unable to fight me. And then when I fought in LA for the MTiL, as soon as I stepped out of the ring, I realised she was sat ringside, obviously watching me. And me being the pleasant person I am, I went and shook her hand before I'd done the interview. I thought it was really nice to meet her in person. And really, as soon as we was walking out the venue, you turn around, you can hear this mouth going off saying, "Oh, I'm going to challenge the 63.5 female WBC. Who holds that?" And Nathan turned around and said, "Well, Julie Kitchen holds it, And she starts saying, "Oh, I'm going to fight you." And we was both like, yeah, we'll fight you. We've never ducked at anyone, so I'm certainly not going to duck down from Miriam.
Yeah, I mean, to say we was being unenthusiastic was a bit far-fetched, I mean, we're always enthusiastic about challenges. It's just that people have to face now that, we have paid for a lot of opportunities for fights and stuff. And, those days have to be over at some point. And, but if the money's right, then, I mean, it will be a great fight. I mean, Miriam's no pushover. She's proved herself by beating, Angie and Claire. It's a great fight, and it's a fight that people really, really want to see. Yeah. But I feel that it's Miriam that needs to beat Julie and not the other way around. And I mean, we're not greedy with our purses. If they give Julie a fair purse, it's like I said on the interview, we could even do some seminars and pay our own flights and just fight Miriam at the end of the week, as long as the money is fair and the judges and all are fair, then that's all we're after.
it's a fight everybody would want to see. I'd be excited to get in the ring with her. I expect a lot of, I don't know, things being thrown at me verbally, but I'm so laid back, things like that don't affect me.
Yeah, I mean, you have been getting challenges not only from Miriam. I know Tayanara Lisboa also wanted to fight you. Then everybody wanted to see you fighting Valentina Shevchenko with the MTiL. I mean, a lot of potential challenges out there. You did state, in the interview, you did state that you were, you're 35. As we all know, in the fighting sport, you don't get any younger, and it definitely, no one, you're starting to move into the tail end of your career. I mean, do you feel like you're going to be able to actually, realistically, do you feel like you're going to be able to, although everybody wants to see those fights, are you going to be able to actually fight all those fights? I mean, really, I think the top one that everyone wants to see is Miriam right now because there's so much hype about it. But is there any other one that you're specifically maybe that you would really like to do in personal feelings?
I mean, nothing. I don't think any of them are personal. I mean, even with regard to Julie's interview, and she said about like Helen Garnett. I mean, Helen's a really good friend, and it's just that people in England they won't get behind you until you're losing, and people will always pipe up with someone who they think can beat Julie and all. But I mean, Helen's a strong fighter, but she's at 70 kilo. It's not a realistic fight that needs to happen. But if, any fight that people want, then we will try and oblige. It's just that time's running out. But I feel over the next, I mean, if we can squeeze them all in this year, then we'll definitely do all of them. I know Chantal Ugi has also personally emailed us, asking for a rematch. Tainara, we want to take them all because obviously if we can get decent purses for each one of them, it just means that Julie's got to stay on tick over, which is that's how we like it, and that was why we like the MTiL was because we was fighting every 6 weeks. It was that works for us because of our lifestyle. If we're going to take time off to spend with the children and all, then she goes off the boil because we need to dedicate 100% into our personal life. So while she's fighting, while she's up there, bring it on, and we need to get as many fights in as possible. So yeah, I mean. It's just that we keep hearing on the internet and everything else, but we're not actually hearing from the promoters themselves, and it just becomes, you sort of think to yourself, well, they just seem to be challenging Julie because she's the obvious choice to challenge and the obvious person that's going to bring them up in their media attention for themselves. But we're here and we love traveling, we love Muay Thai.
And I got to say, on a personal note, everybody says about my age, but I'm still up there, still doing the training. I'm not feeling the pressure of my age. I still feel young, so come and bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's something I didn't bring it up because I think it. I just think I brought it up because you had mentioned it in the, that definitely try to squeeze them in before time continues on, and I understand that. Yeah, I mean, I guess this would be a message to all the promoters. I mean, there's a lot of fighters that want to fight Julie wants to fight all these people, so it's like definitely let's get those things set up,
let's do it.
Especially I want to go back to you, Julie. Also, you have and Nathan as well. I mean, you guys have mentioned time and time again kind of, and I don't know if you guys want to call anybody out, obviously, but I know you guys have mentioned about the situation in the UK. Julie has said it sometimes that she doesn't really agree with sometimes how they treat the female champions or things going on with that. I mean, what is it? What is it, Julie, exactly that you're feeling that why they're not focusing on you as a champion and what is your what is your whole issue with that situation?
Well, I think in any sport, whatever it can be, like the women are normally kind of based under the men, and we just put in as much work as the guys do in the sport. I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I know physically we're not as strong as men, but mentally we are, and we put in just as much work. And I think it is starting to get more recognised. There's a lot more females coming onto the scene, and I think we're breaking the mould very slowly. But I think, I get emails every day and messages just saying you're a real inspiration as being a female. And I think it's nice, or I feel it privileged that I'm like a role model to other females to look up to. And they can see me trying to break the mold of putting a female through in a fight sport. So I do think we're opening up the doors very slowly. And I think in years to come, it's going to be more of a ladies kind of world in the fight scene. But at the moment, I feel like we're kind of hitting a brick wall still with promoters saying they can't sell tickets and such things like that as well.
Yeah, I think with the UK in comparison to the US is like the UK will always support people that aren't winning. They'll always tread on the people that are doing well, or certain people, obviously. You know, whereas in the US, they get behind the people that are on top, and then if you lose, then you get trodden on. But I think that you know, that's the nature of the beast, and you know, it's just stuff on forums and all. You know, you go on, I mean, mostly Axe Kickboxing. You know, you go on there and you're so pleased. You know, your wife just won a 14th world title. You know, it's at the end of the day, she's representing the country as well as ourselves. And you know, you're so excited. You type it on, and then all you get is negativity, and you know, it just instantly you argue because it's my wife. You know, I mean, I'm not going to argue a case. And you know, when people, you know, sort of trash talk her, then I immediately stick up for it. It may not bother her, but it does me because I see what we put in, and you know, it's nothing personal. And I mean, a lot of people, you know, God, who's the poison dwarf that's typing this and typing that? I don't mean anything by it, but I just feel that, you know, the UK should get behind her because what she's doing is outstanding, you know, and it's not going to be there forever. You know, and in like 5 years' time, when people are all on there saying, "Oh, Judy Kitchen was the best and could have done this and could have done that," I want to leave the sport with all the could have dones being done. You know, and if people want to challenge, you know, and the what ifs and the could have beens, I want to clear it all up before we, you know, decide to step away from the fight game. And so I feel I'm being fair, you know, but other people see it as me arguing. But hey ho.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that it is true. That's kind of the nature of the beast, guys. I mean, it's I don't know if it's that different in the UK than it is in the US. I think in the US, one thing that I do, I guess, appreciate about the US scene is, yeah, we do have a lot of more focus on currently on the women's scene. Whether it's in MMA or it's in kickboxing, there is a lot of strength thrown behind the women. You know, you have in the MMA scene, you have a lot of very popular girls right now coming up. And I think Muay Thai, you know, I've really, funny thing is I do see a lot of flack getting thrown at the women in MMA, possibly because it's a lot more brutal, and you know, some men are like, oh, you know, this is too much for women or whatever, you know, for whatever reason they come up with that. And then, but in Muay Thai, I don't know, Muay Thai to me is such an elegant sport. You know, it's such an elegant sport, showing a lot of technique and everything. And a lot of times the females in Muay Thai put on just as good or even better shows, fights than the men. I mean, you know, talking about Julie, I mean, it's just showing a lot of technique, a lot of strength, the fights are just as exciting. You know, I've seen also Miriam as well is an exciting fight. And then there's a lot of young girls coming up that are brand new pros that are just as exciting. And we do throw, I think we do throw a lot more support behind them. I mean, I guess I would call out, I'm not saying to call out, but I think the one promotion that I would hope, after if they see this interview that they kind of throw their support behind a Julie and Miriam fight would be probably something like Lion Fight Promotions, which is one of the big ones here. I know they're close with Miriam, you know, I'm sure they would love to bring Julie over. They seem like they're the ones that would be more along the lines of doing that because they're the biggest right now. And I think here it would have no problem selling tickets. I mean, there's a lot of support for Julie here. Which I guess you guys have noticed out in California. There's
fantastic.
You know, and I think that's the one difference, as you guys would say, with the UK is we do have a lot of people that are essentially behind, you know, in the women's sport and want to see that fight, like big time.
They're excited as well. They're excited about it, you know.
No, and exactly, and I think that is one fight that could definitely happen. I mean, I don't know why, you know, I I've honestly seen Julie argue sometimes on on Facebook with other promoters and stuff about why in the UK you guys don't get as many shots. I mean, with the whole Aleide fight, you guys put up the event. So I mean, how did it actually work out? I mean, Julie had to put up an event to protect her own title.
Yes, yeah. So basically, what happened was after, obviously, like Prague was a disaster for us, and I mean, I believe in Julie. I know how she felt that night, and I know that she would have gone through and won that money. And obviously, as a family, because we've both given up work, 4,000 that's a hell of a start to New Year's Day. And it did hit us very hard. Also, like, there's a huge scar left on her face, and we didn't really want that either. And so I got to work straight away and match the fight. I knew I had a show coming up, which I didn't intend on putting Julie on. And Aleide, I mean, and the respect has to go out to her, because she's like, well, I wanted to fight Julie in the final. I want to prove myself against the best. I feel that I would win. And, she came over. She was easy to deal with. There was no fuss. I flew her and a trainer over. She fought a great fight, very, very dangerous with her hands. And it was just nice. I mean, like, there was 950 people in the venue. And Aleide got cheered in, no booze, nothing. She was respected. She came out for a drink with us afterwards. That's Muay Thai to me. That is the whole of Muay Thai. And if people want to prove themselves, then we're there and we're open for it. But I'd rather do it in a lot friendlier way and have the support and excitement behind a fight than going at each other on Facebook and stuff. I mean, I agree with Miriam. Miriam said the same thing about MMA as you said. She's over in the States. I think, obviously she isn't our cup of tea because we're not used to like arrogance, but at the end of the day, she is out, she is selling herself, and she is a good fighter, and, she's the one out there doing flying elbows, flying knees in the middle of a fight. She's beating decent people. And, I think maybe like if she had a decent sponsor, I think she could be really, really good, and maybe she would lose some of that hot-headedness, because I get hot-headed, but then I do it for Julie because she doesn't get hot-headed, whereas Miriam hasn't got someone like myself to do that, So, maybe the girl just needs an uplift, and if she beats Julie, that could be her uplift, So as long as it's done fairly and squarely, Julie's not going to go on forever winning, and but she's always going to be the queen of Muay Thai, isn't she? Like, you don't just beat her and then suddenly you're the queen of Muay Thai. It's just, I mean, one person put on Miriam's Facebook page, her gym, that's made up, like he's made her name up. Well, it's not. It's come from the fans, it's come from the fans over a period of years, and, and it's through like dedicating and sacrifice and, heart and, as well as talent, and, we have given up a lot to get to where we've got, but at least we're not taking it and running. We're willing to say, right, like, you think you can win, come and have a go. If you win, you win. So what,
Yeah, definitely.
No, I mean, that's something that, I don't understand the whole attacking. I guess sometimes I do see some people attacking the old moniker of the Queen of Muay Thai, which is something that, I guess the fans themselves came up with, and that's why it exists. And, you're right. I mean, I guess what you guys, I mean, it's a little different because here in the U.S., I guess what you guys are feeling, and sometimes I don't agree with it as much because it's kind of an offshoot of what happens in MMA, is that, we, as Americans, people tend to love the drama here. They love the drama. They love the build up. They love the trash talker. Which it's funny because it's kind of shown right now. It seems like Muay Thai and that attitude, and then the growth of Muay Thai in America is coming to a clash, because a lot of the traditional Muay Thai people are like, oh, we're not doing that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go that route,
Exactly.
But at the same time, you have girls like Miriam, you have fighters like Joe Schilling, you have other fighters that do that. They're just the most local ones. And it is, I think, you're right, Nathan. You kind of did hit it on the head. I mean, a lot of times it's because they don't have the promoter. Like, a lot of times in boxing, it's the promoters that do a lot of the trash talking. But here it's more like these fighters have to sell themselves somehow. Joe Schilling has made a name for himself for being, the hot-headed tough guy, but he backs it up. He's backed it up many times. And Miriam as well. And I think that's kind of where it goes, is that they know that, I mean, in the end, it's probably going to help, the fight with Julie or everything and sell the way we would want it to sell, So,
because I mean, at the end of the day, it is a show, it is a promotion, and you've got to promote, and if that's the American style, then I think it's exciting. I think when we was over in America, we loved the enthusiasm. Like you hit a pad and everyone, wow, and everything's like exaggerated, but I love that, and they get behind you. Fair enough, Miriam will have her fans there, but it's not as if we're coming in with no fans in America, and I think that's great. I think it's brilliant. So
we like the Americans.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Hopefully it'll happen soon.
Yeah, hopefully it does. I mean, that's definitely a fight. I mean, that fight, Tainara Lisboa, Valentina Shevchenko is another one that I would love to see, because she's another very tough girl who kind of came up and has been doing really well. So, I mean, there's a lot of out there, and I just, I hope also as well that, when any promoters that view this are like, all right, let's get this going, we're definitely our best here. At Muay Thai's Life, and try to promote you guys. We've tried to do that as much as we can, and I guess moving on to some lighter note, before we go, is I guess want to ask you both. I mean, you're the fighting family. You're the kitchen fighting family. I mean, you have two daughters that are coming up also fighting. Nathan, you're the trainer for the whole crew now, and then Julie. I mean, I guess I'll ask Julie. First, I'll ask Julie. I mean, as a mother, and you see your daughters fighting. I guess you wouldn't. I mean, let's go back to the whole situation. I mean, I know when I fought, my mother was in tears. You know what I mean? So how is it? I mean, you're a fighter, so it's a little bit different. But do you still experience that? I mean, they're coming up now. They're fighting now. I mean, do you get nervous for them, even though you're a top-notch fighter yourself?
Hugely, and I even don't really do that much of the training with them. Nathan tends to. Even though I'm a really laid-back person, it's funny, when I try and teach them, I kind of get not stressed, but I want them to be really good, because I know they're going to go in the ring. Probably as Nathan feels with me, he wants me to train my best. I'm not going to go in that ring and get hurt. But when I've been in their corner, when we're standing at the entrance, I've got tears in my eyes. I don't want them to go in that ring and fight. I'd hate to see them get hurt. But, Nathan makes sure that they're properly prepared. They are the best in Britain at their weight categories. It's kind of in their blood. They're around it all the time. And the main thing is that they're really enjoying it at the moment. But, of course it's tough for me when they fight,
And for Nathan, I mean, you have your wife, you have your daughters fighting. I mean, how does that feel for you? I mean, you're training them and everything, but I mean, it's gotta be, I guess, nerve-wracking sometimes as well.
Yeah. Well, if you had spoke to me probably 6 years ago, I would have had a big afro of hair, and I've lost it all. I mean, I can't even begin to say the amount of stress and always put, not just me, but the whole family under. I mean. But Muay Thai it's just the best sport. It's just, and, as anyone who's involved in it just feels the same. And, all we need to do is to just iron out and get people behind each other for each country. And I really feel that, if we could get to the Olympics, it would just be amazing. But I mean, like with the girls fighting, I mean, at the moment, they're not doing head contact. Which I think is important, and the kids over here, they don't fight until like 14 with head contact, and at the moment I can put them in. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. As long as they're not mismatched, and as long as they enjoy themselves, and they're fine. They walk away with bruised egos, bruised legs. That's it, and I think that's a really important thing for children, because their confidence is growing. So, if they too decide to go down that road as a pro fighter, then they would have already had a lot of experience, and, I feel the UK do a lot of things right. They do. I mean, the UKMF are a brilliant organisation. They've set ground rules. They're doing stuff really well and properly. And you know, I feel if everyone sort of gets under the same umbrella, which is a bit of an impossibility to be honest, but I think it could push and get the Olympic sports, especially with the Americans behind the sport as well. You know, because you guys do have a lot of clout, you know, in the way of getting things done, you know, and making things happen. You know, it's a land of opportunity, and I feel that Muay Thai, you know, with its enthusiasm in America, is in the right place. You know, I think if the Americans can't do it, then no one can. But you know, I've got my fingers crossed. Hopefully, you know, by the time like Lucy, one of our fighters, she's 20, she's fighting for a world title this week. And obviously our daughters, by the time they get to the stage where they're pro fighting, I think Muay Thai could be a totally different sport. We'll see.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, what is, I in the last interviews that you guys have had in the last two, you guys have spoken that you want to do a string of seminars here in the United States.
Yeah.
And also it seems like that would be the way moving forward. Also for you, Julie, it seems like you want to continue after you're finished with your career. You want to continue to teach. You want to continue to do seminars.
Yeah, I love teaching, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so is that the next logical step? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to throw, let's say, you know, obviously not this year or maybe not 2 years down the line, but when you do finally hang up your gloves, I mean, is that the next logical step for you? Are you going to throw all your, you know, strength behind touch gloves and the seminars? I mean, what are your plans?
Well, touch gloves is going really strong at the moment, and we're going to link up with a private school locally, which gets really good results, and we're going to work alongside them, being an elite Muay Thai camp alongside their school, so people from all over the world, they can come and get a great education, plus learn Muay Thai, train with us, have time out of schoolwork to do the sport. And even if they don't succeed and become like number one in the world through Muay Thai, they're still going away with great grades, able to get back into the American top universities and stuff. So we're going to really work closely with that. Alongside that, doing the seminars, I love America. I love the States and the people. And when we spoke to them when we was out there, we got so much feedback off them. And I think we'd just like to really work with the students out there and give some of our knowledge to them, and just, you know, pass on a little bit of what's worked for me, really.
Yeah, I mean, seminars are it's a great way to meet people. Obviously, Julie hasn't got to think about the nerves of having a fight and, you know, the dieting and stuff. We can go out there, we can be ourselves. People have such a laugh at our seminars. You know, there's sort of, you know, there's a lot of good cop, bad cop stuff going on. So we have a bit of a joke with it as well. Then on the serious side, you know, we do teach some good stuff, setting up fakes, how to set up fakes, and I end up with a really hard workout on the end as well. So in a 3-hour seminar, you're being taught stuff, you're having fun, and you're getting a real good beasting, which you know, I think seminars need that, and you know, we are a good choice, and hopefully if we can get like 4 or 5 gyms to say yes, and you know, I've already got a sponsor that will say he'll pay the flight. So, and then hopefully on the end of that week, you know, we can train over there and maybe fight Miriam, you know, and be climatized to the, you know, times over there.
Nice weather.
And the nice weather, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a great plan. I mean, have you gotten any feedback from gyms? I mean, as of yet, or not too many? Or
yeah, we've had feedback, but then they was just going to connect with other gyms to see if we could like link on. But we've had a lot of messages. We've had lots of people saying, when you've got confirmed dates, please put them up so we can like book in and stuff. So it's just putting it all together.
Yeah. I mean, we would like to come over like in probably like May or June, ideally, or late August. You know, because obviously the school term starts in September, and this is when we're going to throw everything into this new school. We've just been sponsored by Bad Breed, hence the T-shirt,
which is coming to the States soon.
Yeah. So I think that started off initially as an American company, which I think either part of it or all of it has been brought by the UK, and they've got some really nice pads and kit and stuff, which they're going to kit all the gym out with, and you know, obviously it's a massive move forward for us, because Muay Thai in the UK, you don't get grants, you don't get help with anything, and you know, this is a massive thing for us, and something we've been fighting for years. So You know, things are just looking so good, and you know, I want to sort of bring people in from other countries to help teach and maybe board at this school and stuff, and you know, open up doors and opportunities for other females and male fighters. So you know, we'll have to see how it goes. But I mean, obviously, initially to get over in the States this year and do a string of seminars and fight Miriam will be, you know, it would be a good thing now. I think it needs to be done and proved. You know, and best luck to whichever girl wins on the night. You know, best luck to them as long as the judging's fair. There's no controversy. There's nothing worse, you know, than controversial fights and stuff. You know, and we'll just get it on and see who does best.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely sounds like a plan. I mean, that's the fight that everybody wants to see right now, especially stateside. I think there'd be a lot of support thrown behind it. As you said, I mean, Julie, you do get a lot of support here. Miriam obviously has her supporters. I mean, she's kind of like the right now the girl for Muay Thai in the U.S. at that weight, you know, and she's very vocal, and that also sells everything that sells tickets.
Oh yeah, I mean, she looks good as well, doesn't she? I mean, you know, she's athletic. She looks the part. You know, like I say, the only beef I had with her was that she said that we didn't seem enthusiastic in fighting her. You know, whereas you've got Jermaine in the same camp, who I would say is probably a better fighter than Miriam, under certain rules. And, you know, we've been asking her to fight, so why would we shy away from Miriam and be asking Jermaine for a fight? You know, Jermaine is one tough cookie, you know, and hits hard. So,
maybe she can see how enthusiastic we are once we're there.
Yeah. we'll show our enthusiasm when we get out there, so.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I thank you very much for meeting with me today. And, you know, I wish you nothing but the best. Also, I mean, hope to see you guys here soon, and I'll do my best also to see if you guys, I bring you out to Florida one day as well.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, thank you ever so much for your support. It means a lot, so it's great.
Thanks, Eric.
No problem, and have a great day, guys.
See you soon.
Well, cheers now.
All right.
Take care.